Help me find a home for a 180D. So a few months ago, one of my subscribers who always kind of wanted a diesel Ponton bought a diesel Ponton on Bring a Trailer. So you can go look at this car. It's a white 180D, so you know where pictures are. That I think it's sold for around $12,000 or so. But anyway, when we got the car here, I had told him, I said, I guess if you want a Ponton, this is a safe buy because the car doesn't have any rust. And it ran. Pretty big deal. But when we got the car here, we started to learn some other strange things about it. The first one was that it had been parked in 1981. And I had this sort of weird kind of feeling that this car was somebody's car that they did sort of care about and did a great job maintaining. It's a 59, so if you think about it, it was parked when it was about 22 years old. So that would be about the equivalent of parking a car from model year 2000 today. But there was something about this car that I just could not shake. And so it seemed like it was just the kind of car that somebody had really put away for a special reason, and I'm not sure what it was, but they never got back around to it. And so when my customer received it, I was kind of surprised at how it had withstood sitting. Like there wasn't a ton of algae in the fuel tank. They hadn't really done a lot of work to get this car up and running. I think they literally just put a battery and some clean diesel in it, and it started. It had a broken shutoff cable. So once I figured out what to do to circumvent the broken shutoff cable, because the 180D has a manual starter / fuel shutoff device right in the middle of the dash that looks like a twisty handle on an older Mercedes trunk lid. Once I kind of figured out what all that stuff was, I was like, I don't know. It just seemed strange to me that this car had survived the test of time or the passage of time so well. And as my friend George Marcos used to tell me, the Pontons were incredibly durable cars, more durable than I think most people would have ever imagined. But, you know, the problem with the diesel Pontons is that they are so underpowered, they're not really cars you could take on I-95. You cruise up US 1 at 60 miles an hour in a car like this because it has a 43 horsepower overhead valve, 1.8 liter OM 636 engine. Anyway, after we had gone through and made an estimate for the car, which was a pretty big estimate because it needed a lot of rubber from sitting in hot Southern California, even though it was indoors, a lot of the rubber had just dried up. My customer ended up having some kind of personal health issue, which, you know, is unfortunately a thing that can stop a restoration project, and now has to let go of this car. So I'm hoping that somebody who hears this video might be interested in buying and rehabbing this 180 diesel, because now that, you know, the car's here in Florida and everything, I would just hate to see it be, I don't know, parked for like another 20 years. And it would, I mean, it's not even a scenario where I necessarily even want to do the work. This would be a good car for somebody who works on their own cars because it's simple and straightforward and doesn't have any major corrosion. Is the paint great? No, it had a crap paint job sometime in the mid-70s. Is the body free of accidents? Yeah, for the most part. I can't find any accident damage. Can't find any rust damage. Can't find any major issues with the engine or transmission. I mean, it clutches and declutches and shifts through all the gears. The brakes are awful, but, you know, that's about the biggest system on the car that doesn't work. And somebody tried to rebuild the generator and put the front cover on wrong, but, you know, that happens too. That's a resolvable problem. What wouldn't be resolvable is if the body was rusting out of it. So if any of you are interested in this car, it's probably going to be priced around somewhere around the price of what it sold for, and bring a trailer. It should have some mechanical improvements by then. In other words, it should be able to drive under its own power, but it's not a car I would drive if you're located in another state to that other state. It's a car that I would definitely ship, but it should be an operational car in the near future. Email me at my at my mbownersforlife@gmail.com email address. That's mbownersforlife at gmail, and let me know if you're interested. There are so many classic Mercedes out there that need homes, and I'm sure some of you are going to ask the question, why don't you buy it, Pierre? Well, I just bought a wrecked 300D that I'm going to have to put a whole front end on because, it deserves it. And I just can't deal with it right now. I don't have the space or the energy or the time or the financial resources. So anyway, all right, thanks. And I hope to meet one of you in the near future who wants a 180 diesel.